One of the biggest complaints law firms always get from clients is communication. In this video, we're going to talk about how to communicate with our office to help move your file along. Communication failures, in my opinion, it's the failure of lawyers to tell their clients how to communicate with them. Think about it. In your lifetime, you might deal with one or two lawyers, and you're probably dealing with them in a very traumatic situation, and you want immediate answers. And it's frustrating when you can't get a hold of somebody. And that's why communication matters. So the first thing you need to know is who to communicate with in our office. Whenever I tell people how to communicate with a law firm, I use the analogy of a doctor's office, because we all know how a doctor's office runs. You call, you talk to a receptionist, then you talk to a physician's assistant, and then you possibly have a meeting with a doctor. Here it's very similar. Every file, once you've been intaked as a client, is going to be assigned to a paralegal, maybe two paralegals, or a legal assistant. Our paralegals and legal assistants are going to be your primary form of communication. They're going to be managing your file from beginning to end under the supervision of your attorney. We understand that most people want to talk directly with their attorney. As I explained to many clients, attorneys are out of the office most of the day doing things that only lawyers can do. They're in court, they're attending depositions, they're in real estate closings, they're in client conferences. So it's really important, if you want to talk to your attorney, please contact our office and schedule an appointment, 10-15 minutes to talk to your attorney about your issue. Now, you're going to be dealing primarily with your paralegal or legal assistant. All of our paralegals and legal assistants are highly qualified and highly trained to deal with your file. Otherwise, they wouldn't be working with you. Now, the next question is how to communicate with us. We live in a day and age of many forms of communication. We have phones, we have emails, we have text messages. And some days our office can be bombarded from every different angle, from every different medium of communication. So how do you communicate with us? Our preferred method and the best method by far is email. If you have a question or concern, please address it to your paralegal. Feel free to copy your attorney. Now, why is email the best? Well, first, we have a written log of your request. We know exactly why you're contacting us. If you text us, we can't guarantee a response, but with email, we can. With email, we know who's communicating with us, what their question is, and we could typically get back to you before the end of business that day or within 24 hours. Second best way of communicating with us is by phone. If you're going to call us, please call our main line. Once you call our office, your call is going to be funneled from a legal assistant to a paralegal that's dealing on your file. If you call someone's direct line, there's no guarantee that they're ever going to get the message, so please, it's imperative that you call our direct line if you want to speak to somebody or schedule an appointment to talk to your attorney. Now, when you call our office, the individual taking your call is going to ask you the purpose of your call. They're not trying to be nosy or intrusive. They need to know exactly why you're calling for two reasons. First, they need to know who to direct the call to. And secondly, they need to be able to give the person who they're directing the call to an orientation on why you're calling. Please don't assume that the person you're calling knows automatically about your file. We deal with a lot of individuals with similar names, so we might confuse your file with another person's file. It's really important you tell us why you're contacting us so we can research your file and give you a very thoughtful answer. How not to communicate with our office. At all costs, please avoid text messaging. Text messaging is the least effective form of communication, and we cannot guarantee a response. There are days where we get hundreds of text messages, and we don't know who's text messaging us. We just see numbers, and people ask us very sophisticated questions by text. It takes time to research who's texting us, what their issue is, and then they expect an immediate response by us texting. It's very difficult. You can't get a thoughtful response by text message. It's much more difficult, and like I said, email is the best form of communication because we give a very thoughtful response. Our job is to keep you informed on your file as it progresses. We understand you might want weekly updates. Please email us if you do want an update. Our job is to keep you informed, not overwhelmed. We're not going to be emailing you unless we have an update on your file, so please assume that if you don't hear from us, it's because there hasn't been movement on your file. Now, if communication is lacking with your paralegal or your assigned legal assistant, then you definitely want to reach out to your attorney. Your attorney will either rectify the problem or assign the file to someone else. It's very important. Do not assume that we know that there's a communication problem. Please contact your lawyer and we'll do our best to help you. Again, we want to ensure effective communication with all clients. So if you have any questions or concerns, email us or call us.